It is the third annual and first official Lombardi Christmas party. We're getting ready to host people. The first people that we're going to host are you for our 49ers Eagles prediction. And you can get that out. This is Margot, Lombardi herself, by the way. So by first official, I mean, this is the first time that she's a Lombardi for the Christmas party. So we've got, what is in here?
Homemade simple syrup and gin, and then we have ice cubes that have cranberries in
And then we're adding
champagne.
Perfect. So welcome in. 49ers Eagles prediction is going to be coming up in this show. Margot's thinking of her prediction right now. I have mine in my head. You know the coverage from this week. I mean, we've talked about the fact that the 49ers have a statistical advantage in this game offensively, and I think defensively as well. Special teams, that's a little sketchier. But if they can play that to serve, then I think things should be good. So Margot's working on the champagne. This in no way, shape, or form suggests that a championship has been won.
Oh, no. Can you hand me a napkin?
Oh, boy.
One of the cocktail napkins.
The cocktail napkin is going to be...
Wait, I got it.
She's got it.
Nice.
The championship has not been won, but the champagne has been popped. Let's go. Lombardi Christmas party is underway. Cheers to everybody. Thanks for joining. We'll pour our drinks. You can pour yours. SEC championship game is on. 49ers and Eagles tomorrow. We are, what time is it right now? 4:15? Yeah. So 4:15 Central. It's 5:15. We're less than 24 hours away from kickoff. It's going to be 4:25 p.m. Eastern time, 1:25 Pacific. Cheers to you. Let's do it. So 49ers, Eagles. The Niners definitely do have that advantage, Margot, on paper in this game. You watched the NFC Championship game last year. You don't like Alabama. They're playing right now. Jaylen Herz is Philadelphia's quarterback. So tomorrow you're going to be watching
Jaylen Herz play against the Bills in that kind of minute to win it game last week. He seems like one of those quarterbacks that he doesn't really turn on until there's some serious pressure. He performs a lot better, I think, under the clock.
That's an amazing analysis because the 49ers are 8-3. They have a worse record than the Eagles, who are 10-1. But by every metric outside of that, the 49ers have been significantly better than Philadelphia. And the reason that their record is not as good is that Philly's won a ton of close games. And there's a lot of credit to Jaylen Herz for that. He's been clutch this year in the moments when he's needed to be clutch. Now, recognizing that, he's also turned the ball over 14 times. 14 turnovers between fumbles and interceptions. And you saw him do a little bit of that in Alabama and led to him getting benched, right? They put in Tua Tagovailoa
Saban
instead.
doesn't put up with that for long.
Yeah, Saban's ahead right now, 10-7. We're taking a look at the Frame TV. Anyway, Jaylen Herz is a different quarterback than then. He's developed a lot. He has obviously learned the NFL ropes of the game, so to speak. He's always been able to run. The 49ers believe that if they can turn this into more of a pocket passing QB kind of game, they're going to have an advantage. You've watched the 49ers a lot this year. Are they ready to go in on the road in this type of environment? They're favored, but are they ready to actually follow through on being favored and win this game?
I think if it's not now, then when? Right? I mean,
the NFC Championship, but last year didn't work out.
Right. Well, I'm saying I don't know. I think that they can take it. I think they can take the Eagles. My main thing though is Philly is a very hostile environment, so I think that's a big variable to consider.
You know, Kyle Shanahan's wife said that she's not even gonna go.
I don't blame her. We've had friends who've had, food thrown at them, and anyway, I feel like I always have ugly things to say about Philly. I've not personally been. I've just heard some bad stories. I totally understand being excited about your sports team. Woo! However, there's a classy way to do it and a not so classy way to do it.
So, I mean, speaking of Christmas parties, Philadelphia had their fans threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Which is sad.
Yeah, that's really sad. Back in the 80s, they used to have this place called Veterans Stadium, which was rat infested. Like, so many rats just lived in Veterans Stadium. That it stood near the site or on the site of the new one. And the new one's a lot nicer than they called it the Vet. And this was at the Vet. It snowed. The Eagles fans were mad. Santa Claus came out like at halftime of the fourth quarter, and they're like, we're just going to throw snowballs at him.
Well, I mean, wasn't Philadelphia known for producing coal?
Were they?
I don't know.
Was it coal?
I mean, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania
it could
was
be.
a huge coal, steel.
City. Pennsylvania, West Virginia, that whole area. So, yeah, I mean, you just go Santa Claus cold. That's funny.
I mean, you got to stay warm up there in Philly. So if you get coal in your stocking, it can't be all that bad.
It might be rainy for the game, speaking of weather. It's going to be a little chilly. It's not going to be like frigid cold. But the latest forecast is that rain might clear out before kickoff. Which I think
that'll be a huge component.
I don't think it's. I think it's significant. I don't think it's massive. Any minor advantage or disadvantage or factor is big in the NFL because the margins are so tiny in the NFL.
Right.
But I think in general, if you are the favorite and the 49ers are the favorite and the Eagles are the first team ever to be an underdog at home at 10-1, which is crazy. That's NFL history. But if you're the favorite, you want everything to play out cleanly. You want to hold serve, so to speak. So rain is a variable that can change that, right?
But what's worse, rain or snow?
That's interesting. I think rain actually would be worse. Just a downpour would be worse because that's what makes the football hard to grip. Mm-hmm. And we've seen Brock Purdy struggle a bit with that. Josh Allen last week, remember it was pouring in Philly? But Josh Allen's a tank. He's like 6'5", 220 for Buffalo. He just lit him up. Mm-hmm. He's big enough to be able to grip the ball and not have it slip.
Well, you know, when your hand's the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah. So country strong Josh Allen from the Central Valley in California, where all my dad's farms are. His dad has a farm out there too. So
there you go.
So how are you going to watch tomorrow?
I am probably going to watch in athleisure with a big bottle of water if this party goes well.
Recovering tomorrow?
Leftovers from the party. And I mean, I might have people over and just say, hey, whoever wants to come over and you know, veg out.
Let's talk about your Super Bowl, one of which is this party.
Yes.
So much preparation. You've done such a good job. I showed up yesterday. I'm like, oh, the house is ready to go. Yeah. What all went into it?
So when I initially bought this house in December 2019 before I even met him, and then COVID happened, and you know, I don't know. I've just always grown up entertaining, and our family has, and so as an adult, I decided, you know, there was going to be one party every year that we were just going to go all out for, and you know, 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, Christmas. I mean, you know, pick a holiday, right? And for whatever reason, because my busy season at work is during the holiday season, I thought it would be a great idea to do a Christmas party. So we've actually, this is our third year hosting a party. We co-hosted it with our friends Isabel and Elliot, who are sadly moving away to Baltimore, but they'll be here tonight. So yeah, so we've got a party fridge right now. I mean, you know how you open the fridge and it's like all the food's ready to go. You've got it's
loaded up.
Yeah, we have like a liter of ginger ale. We have champagne. We have all the cheese. We have meats for charcuterie board. We have 2 cookie sheets of pigs in a blanket ready to go into the oven. We have a sheet of bacon wrapped goat cheese stuffed dates, which will get hoovered. We have homemade pimento cheese. And then I can't forget about the homemade Christmas cookies.
And you mentioned, are there pigs in a blanket?
Yeah.
Pigs in a blanket. People love pigs in a blanket. Last time you mentioned them.
So in Tennessee, in the South, we call them Little Smokies.
So why do you call them pigs in a blanket?
Well, you can call them, it's interchangeable. It's synonymous. Okay. Pigs in a blanket. It's like the tiny little smoky, like wrapped in a little crescent dough. Yeah,
little smokies, pigs in a blanket, and also little like almost mini croissants.
I've seen so many men just like hoover them and burn their mouths because they're right on the oven.
And hoover, what a great word. It's like the vacuum. So it's like...
Oh yeah, no, they do get hoovered.
I'm gonna hoover them. I've eaten one meal today. It was that breakfast sandwich that you made was awesome.
Thank you.
Over easy eggs on a breakfast sandwich. I know we do lunch with Lombardi. This could be kind of breakfast with Lombardi at dinner time.
I'm a breakfast girl.
Yeah, it's already getting dark outside. That was so good. It was better than any of the breakfast sandwiches on the show. Anyway, 49ers injury update really quickly. Eric Armstead out of practice on Wednesday and Thursday. He told me that he would play, and then he was out of practice on Friday. That's good news for the 49ers. Ray McLeod, rib injury, questionable. He was at practice on Friday. Jordan Mason, hamstring injury, also questionable. He was at practice on Friday. Fletcher Cox for the Eagles is questionable. They're not going to have Zach Cunningham, who's their main linebacker. And You like Christian McCaffrey, right? You like George Kittle. Linebackers cover running backs and they cover tight ends, typically. I mean, so the Eagles are the worst team in the league at defending tight ends. I know you don't play fantasy football, but George Kittle could have a huge game.
That's exciting.
So there you go.
So I should tell my cousins to go make that bet again that they made.
Yes, her cousins at Thanksgiving. I had no part in this since I don't think I'm allowed to. Her cousins were
Browns.
like, we're just going to put $2,000 on the 49ers because David's here. And they did, and I'm like, okay, I had no part in this. Like, hands washed. And then I have Colton, my best friend, text me, hey, I'm gonna put $2,000 on the 49ers too, just like to one up your cousins. I think they put $1,500, right? And he put $2,000.
I don't know numbers, men that bet on sports.
And they
Great
won.
For y'all.
They won their bet because it was the 49ers covered very easily. You know, Washington won the Pac-12 championship last night. And that's great because it's the only thing the city of Seattle will win football-wise this year.
Nice.
So, boom.
One of these days we'll get one of those SNL drum guys that just sits in the back room, and every time David cracks a joke, he'll bang the cymbals.
Let's go through the conference championships. A week ago at this time, we were sitting here and you were yelling at the TV because Auburn blew it. So sorry about that. Alabama, Georgia's on. Washington won to give the city of Seattle something yesterday. They beat Oregon. They beat Bo Nix. That's good news for you. You can explain to people that you don't want Bo Nix to win the Heisman.
The main Bo at Auburn is Bo Jackson.
Yes.
Certainly not Bo Nix. It's really all I have
And
to
Bo
say
Jackson was at Auburn at the same time as your mom was, which is really neat.
Yes. Yes, he was. My mom actually met him. She was on the yearbook, the Glomerata, which is about 450 pages. It's one of the largest collegiate yearbooks that gets produced. And it's still a physical yearbook. I mean, if you go to Alabama, you get a disc of a yearbook, which, what are you going to do with that? Anyway, so my mom had actually gone to the Hill on Auburn's campus because she was a photography staff for the yearbook, and had been given an assignment to go take a photo of a Vincent Jackson. And so she shows up at this dorm and she's like,
who's that?
I'm looking for a Vincent Jackson. And so one of these other Auburn football players is like, hey, does anybody know a Vincent Jackson? Like yelling down the hallway. My mom's like, it's a Saturday morning. She's kind of like, oh, okay. And someone sticks their head out and goes, that's Bo. And so Bo Jackson shuffles on out in his deer slippers. And he's like, they told me this photo was canceled. But she met him. They took a few, she took a few for the yearbook.
But and he was fine doing it
on the steps. Yeah, he's very, very sweet. He actually, I think it was 1985. It was either 85 or 86. And of course, Bo's all over the Auburn yearbook, right? I mean, how is he not? And he asked my mom, hey, Susie, you think I can get another Glomerata for my mama? And my mom was like, sure. So, because each student was only supposed to get one yearbook because they only ordered however many. And so my mom snuck him a second yearbook so his mama could have one.
Isn't there something with his ID card?
Yeah, but we don't need to get into that.
Okay, we won't. I mean, it was such a long time ago, but it's a cool story with Bo Jackson, one of the greatest athletes to ever walk on this planet.
Yeah, he's amazing. I actually heard stories from some other Auburn students when I was there that he took up archery bow hunting, Bo Jackson bow hunting, with a bow, and set up a target in the backyard, but it was too easy for him, and so he literally had to go climb up a tree in the neighbor's house to shoot it, from a street over, to make it more challenging for him because he's so athletic.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, we saw him climb fences in the outfield in baseball, make some insane catches. His arm, too. The way he would throw from the outfield.
Well, and Bo Jackson played baseball and he played football for Auburn.
MLB and NFL. And he played both at Auburn as well. Frank Thomas went to Auburn, too.
The Big Hurt.
That was obviously before either of our times in college. When you were there, that was after Cam Newton, but you saw, actually technically not, didn't he come to finish his degree and you saw him on campus?
Yes, so I was a student and he was on campus. So let me back up. When you live and grow up in Nashville, at least when you did in the 90s and the 2000s.
Like the cool people.
Like the cool people, yeah. If you saw a celebrity in public, you were,
Chuck Barkley, sorry. We'll say that for another time.
It's Charles Barkley. He goes
by Chuck, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But Chuck is Charles.
That
it's like
story
David.
deserves its own live.
Yes, that will be its own
live.
live.
We should probably interview her when we tell it if we get to that point.
Okay. Sorry, you were...
What was I talking about?
It was something... Oh no, Cam Newton. You could tell the Cam Newton story.
Anyway, when you live in Nashville, you see a celebrity out in public, like, you're a really true Nashvilleian if you leave them alone. Like, let them do their thing. Karen DeWoods and Kroger, Keith Urban's and Cracker Barrel, you'll leave them alone. They're normal people. That's why they live in Nashville, as opposed to LA or New York. So, Cam Newton had come back to Auburn to finish his degree because he had promised his mom that he would get a degree and finish.
Degree. Yeah, awesome.
And so I remember like getting out of class early. Where was I? What was that? Haley's like the ugliest, tallest building in Lee County. And I had all my classes there. But we got out early. And so there weren't a ton of people on the concourse. And there was a big black Escalade and 2 huge security guards. I mean, these guys looked like rhinoceroses. They're huge. And then this guy, was taking a photo. I mean, really tall, athletic looking dude. And he was taking a photo with 2 other girls, one on each arm. And I was like, that's really weird. And I'm like walking by, and as the gears are turning and clicking into place in my brain, I go, oh, that's Cam Newton.
I've been to Auburn once before.
So I kept walking.
So you didn't get your celebrity shot?
No, I don't need a celebrity selfie. Knowing that I saw him and I was like, hey Cam, what's up? Like, it's good enough for me.
That's cool.
He would get bombarded in class changes. I mean, people would just come up to him and like, hey, it was...
I have a story for you about George Kittle after we're done about that.
We're done about that.
No.
Story's done.
No, after we're done with this. I'm not telling you guys right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not telling you guys. That's for a future episode. But George lives out here, so that's cool. Anyway, 49ers Eagles. I know that we're having some fun. This is by the way, those of you just joining, the reason it's all festive is it's the first annual...
David is my celebrity.
Official...
Someone said David's your celebrity.
That's awesome. Really nice of him.
So
it's our first annual official Lombardi Christmas party because we got married in May. Yeah, because you weren't a Lombardi before, and you do the vast majority of the work that which I'm very thankful for because I wasn't here. Obviously, I was covering the 49ers. So
he flew home. You flew back to SF at what, 6 a.m. on Wednesday?
6 a.m. on Wednesday. I made it to practice on Wednesday.
Yep.
Covered 3 practices. Got on a plane, got stuck at Dallas Love Field last night because I don't do layovers unless I'm forced to, right? There was no direct flight. Yeah, no, you don't do those.
Nashville's a huge Southwest hub. He doesn't have a choice.
No, well, United status now, so we're good. But United I didn't want to do the red eye because you were like...
Badass over here.
Stood. Anyway, so I didn't want to land in the morning because that would be kind of lame, right? Landing at 5 a.m. But I showed up at 2 a.m. last night. Dallas Love Field is hands down one of the worst connector airports in the country. I get it. Like,
you should tell them about your really awesome experience, though, despite your layover.
Yes. A shout out to Bobby Burton. I ran into him. He covers Texas. He lives in Tennessee, but he covers the Texas different UT. Right?
Congrats.
Yeah. And they won today, so congratulations as we're talking about all these college football games.
Big 10 championship?
Big 12. Big 10 is tonight. Big 10 is Harbaugh tonight against Kittle's.
Why is there a Big 10 and a Big 12? That's
and
so
neither of them makes sense because neither of those two conferences have 10 or 12 teams.
Well, whoever picked that name second had the laziest head of marketing I can think of.
Yeah, it's bad. And the Big 10, because they just rated almost the entire Pac-12, is about to be like 20 teams big. So it should be the Big 20 instead. The RIP. Let's pour one. Oh, not actually. I don't want to pour anything on this really nice couch.
Yeah, pour anything out of this couch, you will.
She's not coming on the live anymore.
From the Christmas party.
So anyway, what was I saying? Pour one out for the Pac-12 symbolically. If you're at home, you could pour one out because we don't care about your couch.
Feeds into your layover. story.
Yes, yeah. So I'm in Dallas Love Field. There is a dispute supposedly between ABC and DirecTV in the Dallas area. I don't know why that's regional, because that didn't sound like a regional thing, but there is. They didn't have the Pac-12 championship game on in the airport. I was delayed, so I had 4 hours to wait in this airport. And I just want to get the Pac-12 championship game on. It's like, so wait, sorry, we can't.
What time did you get to Dallas?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. And what time did everything close?
8:30. Yeah, I barely got some food
on a Friday.
Yeah, I barely got food in on a Friday, but the whole second half of the game was still coming up. So all this airport's just desolate. It's abandoned. Like my friend Jason, who's gonna be coming over in a bit, I'm texting with him. And he's like, "Oh man, you're so lucky. You're at DFW. There's so much to do there." I'm like, "No, dude, I'm not at DFW. I'm at the other airport. I'm at Dallas Love Field." And then all he texts back is, "Sorry for your loss." Because he knew it was bad. So I couldn't watch the game on any of the TVs, but I have YouTube TV. This is not a commercial, I swear. So I sit down and I put on YouTube TV in the food court of this airport on my laptop while this dude is driving a Zamboni around. It's the most depressing thing ever. There's like Christmas carols playing, the airport's empty, and a guy's driving a loud-ass Zamboni to try to clean the floor.
Poor thing.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there watching the game on my laptop with like 3 hours to go until my flight. And then some guy just like walks up behind me. I have my headphones in, and he just starts hovering over me. I'm like, "Who the hell is this?" And he's like, "I just want to watch the game. You're the only person within a mile radius that does the game on, man." And so I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And then he's like, "Can I sit down next to you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So he sits down next to me. It turns out it's this guy that covers Texas football. His name is Bobby Burton. And he's got a cool channel. You should check him out.
And he lives
in Nashville. Woo! So he was also delayed. He was also on the same flight.
He was on the same flight, yeah.
And I'm telling him about the 49ers. He's telling me about Texas football. We're talking about Deshaun Jameson, the former 49ers, now I believe with Carolina. The 49ers couldn't fit on their roster. It was cool. It was like I found a friend with whom to commiserate. Yeah, I think his channel's called On 3 Texas Sports. So check him out. He's cool. And he lives out here in Nashville, and he was like, "Oh yeah, the Niners, I'm going to watch them against Philadelphia."
So it's a Christmas party miracle. You spent 3 hours in an airport delayed trying to get home for your very own Christmas party, and you made a new best friend.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah, you're a really good friend. I mean, best friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was
it's hard talking to people in airports because everybody is just like on their screen.
Yeah. And literally I was on my screen too, but it connected me with somebody else.
I know.
So.
But when I see people like in the airport reading a physical book, and I've read that book, I kind of want to, I want to start a conversation, but I don't want to be too forward. Some people are like, I mean, I'm that person that I'll put my headphones in and not have anything going on just so people
don't bug you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a celebrity now. LombardiHerself.
Yeah. No.
Well, look at the audience you're drawing here. There's like 430 people.
You know what we should have people do? So we need to give our predictions.
We do. I do also need to read one of the comments. Okay, one thing.
I mean, I don't mean to be that wife, but you've got about 5 minutes because I got to get.
Mike just let me know. Mike just let me know that we hit 54,000 subs while we were live.
Woo! Merry Christmas! Yay!
I'm not going to drink out of the bottle on this.
Thank you for being a civilized human.
Maybe at 100,000 that happens.
We'll see.
But not then. So we hit 54,000. That's cool. We got to give our predictions. That's also cool. And I had to read one of the comments. The reason I started laughing a little bit earlier was somebody just commented, "The Rocky statue is trash." Because there's a Rocky statue in Philadelphia.
Well,
I love how antagonistic
these are.
Rocky
statue, right?
I promised everybody if the 49ers win, I will do a video on Monday from the Rocky statue. So make sure to subscribe, do all that stuff, and it's almost time for the score prediction.
Yeah,
they're getting impatient.
Do it.
Yours first. You know mine. I already told you mine. She's thinking.
28.
The Jeopardy music is playing.
28-21.
That's nice.
Nice.
Who's going to win, though? Okay, yeah. Margot says the 49ers are going to win 28-21. I think that's good because Philly's defense isn't that good this year.
Yeah.
Like they've lost a lot of luster.
I can't even like tell you why, but it's all of the things, right? It's both of the teams, everything they do. I've watched Philly play. I've watched the Niners play, as you know. So, yeah, 28-21.
That's good. My prediction is 27-24. 49ers are going to win this game, and Jake Moody is going to kick the winning field goal. Redemption for what happened in Cleveland.
Oh, my gosh. Poor Jake. That's a lot of pressure you just put on him.
Yeah, and you know who he played college for? Michigan. They're about to play tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. Against George Kittle's team.
I love that commercial,
Iowa.
the Heisman House, where who was the Michigan player?
SF has a Liberty Bell, and it's not cracked. I told you about that. You rolled your eyes so hard.
I didn't roll my eyes just now. I think it's cute.
Yeah, San Francisco does have a Liberty Bell, and it's not cracked. Now, you like Heisman House for what reason?
Because of the commercial where the Michigan Heisman player, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, gets a Wolverine. He's like, man, it always looks really cool.
Oh, it's Charles Woodson.
Yeah, Charles Woodson gets a Wolverine in a crate.
And it's like shaky.
And it like eats up the Ohio State Heisman winner. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
Was it Eddie George? I think it was Eddie George.
I think it
right?
was Eddie
yeah, it's Eddie
George.
George. Okay, so we saw Eddie George one time because
Wait, Eddie George played for
the Tennessee Titans. He's royalty here in Nashville because he played for the Titans. And he dresses better than any man you'll ever see dress. I mean, perfect suits, everything, to any event that he goes to. That's his like reputation around town. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we ran into him at Steeplechase,
Very
which is a horse race that we go to every May. And Eddie George walks by, and Margot sees him. I'm like, hey, that's Eddie George. And Margot looks over, and you said,
Hi, Mr. George.
hi, Mr. George. And he's like, hello. And then he kept on walking. And it was so suave on both of your parts. On your part, on his part.
He looked really well dressed. I mean, he definitely deserved, a little bit of liquid courage. Why not? I mean, I'm not going to say, hey, Ed, or hey, Eddie, like...
You were one of the finalists for Best Dressed at Steeplechase this last year. So
yes,
congratulations.
but I've never won. This guy won.
I wasn't about to bring that up. You brought that up. Thank you. But
we need to have a Christmas cookie voting. I think you should sample each of them.
Okay. Give me which one you want me to try.
Well, we have to kind of go. We have to go through the options here. I'm gonna kind of like hold them down here. So.
Make sure they're showing up. Yeah, it gotta be higher. Yeah.
Can everyone see them?
Whoa! Oh!
Christmas tree down. So I literally take a day off of work every year before this party to bake Christmas cookies. And I bake 3 kinds. And until people tell me to bake something else, this is what I do every year. So we have a classic gingerbread.
Somebody just yelled Eric Gomes. Fumble!
So all of these are made from scratch, completely. We have a gingerbread cookie that is not frosted because I do not yet know an army of children who can come over and frost them in time for the party, but we'll get there one day. A snickerdoodle. And
you love those.
They're so good.
You remember when I first had snickerdoodle with you?
Yeah, it was at Pike Place, right?
Yeah, in Seattle.
I had a snickerdoodle. It was like the size of my face.
It was after the 49ers kicked the Seahawks ass last year.
Yeah.
You were at that game.
And honestly, the bigger the cookie, they're not always as good. And then the third one is a peppermint bark. So it's like a chocolate cookie. You put peppermint extract and you dip it in white chocolate and candy cane, crushed candy cane.
Yeah.
And David thought, I showed him a video of this and he thought this was crab. He's like, why are you putting crab?
I mean, I kind of like played it out to be more of a joke. Like I knew it wasn't crab. Like I'm not that big of an idiot, but it looks like crab from far
You don't
out.
have a sweet tooth, but I've like snickerdoodle. I love it. So you have to try, like, take a bite of
let
each of
me
them.
show everybody up close. So this is what?
The gingerbread cookie.
Gingerbread. Okay, gingerbread. Here we go.
Yep. He doesn't have a sweet tooth. This is so much fun for me.
This hits you in 2 different waves. First, you bite it, and you're like, yeah, it's not doing too much for me. And then about 3 seconds later, it hits you with that sweet taste of home.
Well, it's the spices.
Sweet taste of home that's a little reminiscent of a pumpkin pie.
Yes, it's because you make the same, because pumpkin pie and gingerbread cookies have ginger and nutmeg. It's a lot of this, and like clove, it's a lot of the same spice mixes.
Okay, so I like that one. That's good. Okay, here we go.
Like out of 10, what do you think?
Can I give ratings after?
You can give ratings.
Yeah. So because
out of 10's a little mean.
Yeah, no. Well, I need to compare them.
Because if he's a good husband, he'll say they're all 10.
So, no, this is an honest food review show. We can't lose our integrity. This is Snickerdoodle right here. Snickerdoodle. This is what we ate after the 49ers just destroyed Seattle last year for the NFC West Championship. You got it at Pike Place or somewhere?
Yeah.
So I remember liking this. And we got like a massive one, you know? It was really big.
It was big. I couldn't eat it all.
Okay. This one is really good. It's less complex than that one. I'm not saying it's worse. It might even be better. The sweetness hits you right away.
Yeah.
The sweetness. This one is more of a hipster cookie.
A gingerbread cookie's a hipster cookie?
The Snickerdoodle is a little bit more like, let me just blast you in the face with sugar.
Well, it is coated in sugar and cinnamon. So.
Yes. So they're both good. I'm not going to give ratings until I have the third one. Do I eat the crab first or do I eat the chocolate first? I'm talking about this. Guys, do I eat the crab?
Give him a nice close-up. That's the prettiest cookie. There you go.
It's not crab, by the way.
It's dipped in white chocolate, and then it's got crushed peppermint, candy cane. I would just take a bite, kind of so you get a little bit of the chocolate, like the white chocolate and the crushed candy cane. Kind of like this little sampler there.
Oh. Okay.
Now, he's a chocolate guy. He's not an icing guy.
Yeah.
So his favorite cake is like a nice, rich chocolate cake with
the candy cane part of it's trash. The chocolate part is gold. The candy cane part of this is the Rocky statue.
Oh my God. And that's the most high maintenance part of all of these cookies. Other than the gingerbread cookies, which
sometimes
have to be
simplicity is best,
individually cut.
Yeah, there you go. You did a great job with everything. I just don't like the whatever you call it, the candy cane. Yeah, more for you. I'm just gonna have the pure chocolate.
Why don't you take a bite of just the chocolate?
Just the chocolate, okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's a classic. It's simple, you know. It's so I would say gingerbread.
Final rating.
Gingerbread, 7.5 out of 10. It's not for everybody, but it grew on me. Snickerdoodle, 8 out of 10, even though I'm not a sweets guy. And most of this is because I'm not a sweet tooth guy. Right?
If there are sweets in the house and they're gone, it's because I ate them all. He doesn't eat any sweets. He'll eat like a whole sleeve of Ritz crackers.
And then chocolate.
But he won't, he doesn't touch the sweet stuff. It's all me.
Chocolate, 13.
It's a very humbling experience.
The Ritz crackers are really good. I love the cheese boards that you make. Best charcuterie boards in the world. Chocolate, 13 out of 10. It's so good. If you make the best cookies in the world, these are really good. Don't get me wrong. The chocolate.
All right, peppermint bark chocolate cookie. All these recipes are an acquaintance from Auburn, Elizabeth and Butter. She's got a great website, so if anybody needs their wives to make them any homemade cookies, she does cakes and pies and things too. She's wonderful. Elizabeth and Butter. Elizabeth with an S.
She based out here?
No, she's in Alabama.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because you follow some people that are based here. We were just like watching Instagram food reels earlier.
You were watching all of my saved reels and posts
those were your saved
recipes, and the title of it is like food, but mostly cheese, because most of it's fancy cheese.
There was some guy named Danilo. I think was it Danilo? Danilo,
He was Italian.
Yeah, there's an NBA player named Danilo Gallinari, but anyway, this guy was not him, but he was Italian. Holy crap! Some of the stuff that he made was insane. Like it was so good. Like I couldn't taste it, but I could, at the same time. But so anyway, this party is going to be awesome. Thanks for setting everything up. Do we want to?
I think people have kind of been dropping it in the live, but like gingerbread, snickerdoodle, peppermint bar cookie. Choose your character.
Comment which one. Yeah. Choose your character. Gingerbread. Comment too. Like it doesn't count unless you comment.
Oh wow. Okay.
Gingerbread. Snickerdoodle. Oh, that guy.
There's been a ton of people who like the snickerdoodle. I love snickerdoodles. They're totally underrated as a cookie in general. I think gingerbreads are like a little overhyped.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Happy Christmas party, honey.
Happy Christmas party. So for first official Lombardi Christmas party, 3rd annual. I didn't even make it to the 2nd annual last year because we were playing in some godforsaken place.
Was it the Packers?
No, you were in Green. You were.
I don't know. I always feel like Green Bay is kind of a godforsaken place.
Yeah,
because it's so far.
It would be if the whole town wasn't named after Lombardi, literally, but it is. So we'll give them a break. It is really in the middle of nowhere. I'm not gonna lie. And I could say that.
About middle of nowhere.
I could say that because I'm from the middle of nowhere.
I grew up in Tennessee. I've been to granted, Nashville is not middle of nowhere. It used to be a small city, but there are a ton of teeny tiny towns in Nashville that really are the middle of nowhere.
I'm from Visalia, California, which is proudly the middle of nowhere. You've been to Visalia?
Yeah, I love Visalia.
The gateway to the Sequoias, baby. That's what we call ourselves.
Hey, the airport's kind of cute because it's got those huge sequoia trees.
Paris of the San Joaquin Valley.
Your dad's going to be so mad. Don't call it that.
You know who's going to be mad is the people that watch this and take it literally. I literally had people send me like emails saying, I can't believe that you would call it that. I'm like, dude, it's very clearly a joke. Like, this is not, like, I don't actually think
David,
it's like Paris.
Putting clown makeup on.
Yeah. Right. All right. Any final thoughts? We're going to give our predictions one more time before we go because
what
there's
was
people
that prediction?
enjoying.
21,
28, 28, 20, 28, 21, yeah.
28, 21.
Uh-huh.
I'm sticking to it.
27, 24, 49ers.
And I think there's confusion because you're here, we're here together, obviously at home, but are you going to the game tomorrow?
Did somebody ask that?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I'm going to the game tomorrow. Philly's like a 1-hour flight from here.
Nashville, Athens of the South.
Yeah.
Get everywhere.
So a lot of times for games on the West Coast, what I'll do is I'll fly the day of if it's a night game. Like, so if it's a 5 p.m.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, nobody's here yet. We're good.
Yeah, no one's here, but I gotta get Little Smokies in the oven.
All right, we got to get Little Smokies in the oven. So one last answer here. If it's a later game, I'll fly the morning of. The game tomorrow doesn't start till 4:25 p.m.,
whoop, whoop.
which is essentially an evening game.
I wrote a letter to the
Eastern time.
to the NFL's office and said, please have this game time start later.
Kick off later.
So I can have my husband home for a Christmas party.
Yeah, so what I did, I saved my company some money. I flew out on my own dime, obviously, here to Nashville, and then I'm just making the close, easy flight from Nashville to Philadelphia in the morning. It's going to be great. All right, we're good. 27-24. 49ers are going to win. Jake Moody's going to kick a field goal at the very end. It's going to be a game winner. He'll make it, and that's going to be the difference. You good?
I'm great.
We're all good. Party time, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll tell you later, but it's been fun. Come join our party. We'll see you later.
Lombardi.